Mm. Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Happy New Year. 2025 is here. Whew, let's all take a nice deep breath. It's going to be an interesting year. What are you doing with your energy? That's the question. Well, we're going to talk about your 2025 numerology and then also briefly what planets are shifting into what. And again, if you're new to me or new to astrology, please understand that the planets don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when you make a move, it's reflected in aspects and angles in astrology. Astrology is a lens that you can look through to understand behavior, psychology, energy, and then apply that to different areas and aspects of your life. Wealth, health, passion, purpose. And you are the one with the power. You're a celestial, eternal, sentient being. What do you want to do with your energy? Let's talk about it right now. We're going to jump right in. I will cover some of the planetary shifts after, but I just want to quickly give you the formula for figuring out what year you are in, numerologically speaking. So let's shift this to this. So now you can see, okay, the year is 2025. Now, I personally believe that your birthday is your new year. Yeah, I call it the solar return. That's what it's called in astrology. And in astrology, when we look at what you're doing with the vibe, we start with your birthday. But collectively, we are looking at numerology for the year 2025. And so when we add the numbers together, it's called Fadic addition, Fadic, and Chaldean numerology, Pythagorean numerology. They differ a little bit, but one thing stays the same. And that is when you add the numbers together. Oh, I'm pointing at the wrong image. Sorry about that. So when you add the numbers together and come up with one digit, that's where we're going to start. So here's an easy way to calculate using Fadic addition. We're just doing the year. And 2 plus 0 is a 2. And then we add 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. So 9 is the general vibration for the year. And 9 deals with endings. And endings are sometimes facilitated by always your higher inner self coming through and saying, yeah, have you had enough of this job, this relationship? But it all stems from your behavior. Your behavior is going to bring to you situations. So if you say, oh my gosh, that person, she just dismissed me, or that person, he was so rude, or that person, whatever people are doing has nothing to do with you. Your behavior is the part of you that is filtering through however many years you've been alive on this planet and the trauma or the perceptions and the beliefs that you have created from your life experiences. The 9-year brings that up. But are you in a 9-year? Well, let's find out. So to find your personal year number, you want to add your birth month to your birth day. So as an example, June, let's say you're born June 15th, and June is a 6, plus the 1 and the 5. We add that all together. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Keep going. You want one number. And we add 1 plus 2, we get a 3. Now, that is your personal number. And add that 3 to the 9. 3 plus 9 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So your year is a 3. Now, here's a little tip when adding to a 9. All you really need to do is add your birth month and birth day and come up with a single digit. Any number you add to 9 eventually equals a 9. It eventually equals the number you began with. So 6 plus 1, 7. Plus 5, 12. That's a 3. You add a 3 to a 9. You can also get a 12. It equals a 3. If this were a different number and you added, let's say, a 5 to a 9, 5 plus 9 is 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you add to the 9 eventually, just you can eliminate that process. If that confuses you, just stick with this formula to get your personal year number. And once you have it, make a list of the future years, because we only go in numerology from 1 through 9. Now, there are exceptions, as in, let's just say this is your birthday. And I'm going to talk about master numbers in a second. But let's say June 15th is your birthday and you've come up with the number 3. So 2025 equals a 3. You just keep adding one more year, to every calendar year. So 2026 would be a 4, 2027 would be a 5, and so on until you get to 9. And then 2032 would start over at 1. Now, okay, 2024, if your birthday was June 15th, was a 2. A 2 breaks down to an 11. And an 11 is a power number. And so 4 breaks down to a 22. 6 breaks down to a 33. 8 breaks down to a 44. All of these master numbers are a little bit more significant in that you are ready to go to another level. You've just completed something, you've healed something, and now the focus is more on your development. It's always on your development. It's always about your energy. But with the master numbers, let's emphasize that even more. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know in the comments section, whether you're watching this on YouTube or in Facebook, where I am streaming to both platforms simultaneously. So let's talk about what the numbers are. I posted this in Facebook a few days ago so that you get a jump on it. And a 1, if you're in a 1 year, it's all about independence. It's all about doing things that suit you, that are appropriate for you, and having that sense of freedom that is so necessary. A 2 year, not listed here because we didn't continue that, but a 2 year would be about partnership, because a 2 year breaks down to an 11, and the 11 is about us and them, me and them. And your job is to go through the center and bring the two halves together. And it's about empathy. So a 2 year is about partnerships and relationships, not necessarily romantic, partnerships across the board. The partnership you have with yourself, with your divinity, the partnership that you have with your higher inner being, with your mind, with your heart, with your body, the partnerships that you have with friends and family, or a relationship to an idea. So if it's not working for you, you'll know that it's not working for you, because you'll get the same results. And if it makes you unhappy, you're the one who has to make the change. So that's why I say the master numbers are a little bit more intensified those years. Okay. And then a 3, if your year number is a 3, it's all about perceptions and beliefs. And then it's about communication and expression. So you might be in a training course. You might decide to go back to school. You might decide to teach or to have a workshop online or in person. But the beliefs that you carry from 1 year to the next are important, because they carry into the 6 year and into the 9 year. And a lot of times people who are in a 3 year have this sudden urge to declare a new belief. Oh, I just learned about something in health, and now I swore off dairy, or now I know to do this other thing, or now I believe in crystals, or now I believe in cognitive and neurological foundations, how we think, what the brain knows. So perceptions and beliefs are a huge part of the 3 year. Now, If your year is a 4-year, again, master number breaks down into a 22. So a 4 is work hard, got to get it done. Let's organize, roll up my sleeves. And when the 4, and if you've heard me on Facebook or YouTube, or a client, you know that I say that a 4 is like an accountant or someone who is so organized that they have to stack things in boxes and label them and get to them accordingly. And then when the 4 breaks down to a 22 master number says, the 4 is like, well, I have all these boxes. I have to get things done, and I'm the one who has to do it. And then the 22 says, oh, honey, there are no boxes. Let's ask for help. And then it's about delegating. It's not about taking it on anymore. If you're overwhelmed in a 4-year, just remember, break it down to the 22, ask for help. And that means from your higher inner self. That means from friends, family, experts, and pay for their services. Because there is an even exchange in a 4-year, or there can be, about the work moves out of struggle into productivity, and then the results happen when you understand that the 4 breaks down to a 22. Okay, let's say your numerology adds up to a 5-year. And if you are in a 5-year, then it's the 5 sits on a rocker, right? So let me think about that. Wait, not yet. Let me think about that. Okay, and then when the vibe in you says, I am ready for a change. I need to transform something. I need to go have more fun. I need to travel. I need to do something different and break up the vibe, the vibration, the energy, the pattern. That's when the rocker, got it, shoots forward, and you jump out of that chair and you go. And so 5 years can be filled with sudden invitations to parties, to dinners, to travel, to experiences that help you break up those patterns, because each of the years are cumulative. 1 plus 2 equals a 3. 3 plus 1 equals a 4. And so it's always about you finding your independence, moving through the numbers that get you to the next stage of your awareness. So a 5-year is all about, all right, I have certain things that I've experienced. Now I need to assess for myself. Is this for me? You won't know until you feel it. You might think it through, but when you experience it, you'll have a much different approach to life. And therefore, you can transform much more easily and readily. So let's say if you know what year you're in, just put it in the comment, post it, and I will respond to you once I get back to you in YouTube or Facebook, and once I do the timestamps in YouTube. So if you know that you're in a 6-year, a 6 is like a pregnant person. Well, it would only be a woman, right? But it's like a pregnant woman. I was trying to be so appropriate. And so 6 breaks down to a 33 master number. 33 is often seen as Christ consciousness, not religion at all. It's about compassion. It's about transmutating. And what does a pregnant woman do? Share a space with another living being, different than having sex. That's temporary. This is evolving the next level of you, because that child carries stem cells of you, just like you carry stem cells of your mother, grandmother, ancestors. So if you are a woman and you're in a 6-year, you might be thinking, where's my community? Is it my family? Do I want to start a family? Oh, I just had a grandchild. Or, you know what? My kids are grown. Now I need to find my tribe. Who are my people? And so you might be feeling more at home wanting to invite people into your space in a 6 year, wanting to create that sense of community and family. And it can be a very prosperous year because, again, the 6 breaks down to a 33. So your perceptions and your beliefs come together in this, creating the 6 to make that expression. So what are you expressing this year? What would you like to express? Well, that is based on your perceptions and what you believe. And if what you believe and what you're thinking takes you out of compassion, you're going to have fewer results and outcomes that you would really like. So I remember a 6 year that I had, and then suddenly we had all these visitors. Family and friends were coming over, staying over. Some people lived with us for a little while, and I thought, oh my God, that's pretty remarkable. How do I want to handle this? 6 needs a boundary. Compassion needs a boundary. It doesn't mean don't give. It just means never at the sake of yourself. All right. A 7 year. You've had a complete couple of years with going, doing, being, setting boundaries, expanding family community, voicing your opinion, knowing what you want, and now you're ready for a nap. And that is a 7 year, is all about, I just need to be alone. I just need to think. I just need to research. It's a spiritual year. It's a lone wolf type of year. Other things get your attention. You've had the busy bustle of people and the world, and now you just need to develop your inner spiritual connection. And when we look at the 7 and break it down simply, a 1 plus a 6. Independence. Where can I find my independence? Where is my spiritual community? How do I do? Maybe you learn to meditate. Maybe you're adept at meditation and you go to the next level and you go to a Joe Dispenza event. Or maybe you learn how to do laying on of hands. Or maybe you research something for a novel that you want to write. Or maybe you start contemplating, I don't know if I want to do this work anymore, because you're about to head into an 8 year, which is all about big business, prosperity, and being more public and helping other people up that ladder with you. So remember, every year connects to the next year. And if you don't want to change, or you don't know how to change, your energy is still going to bring that to you. But you don't want to be resistant, right? Even the word don't implies resistance. So just be open. When in the 7 year, be open to how, when you push out into the world and you say, I want to start a new business, and it trickles back, not a whole lot. And you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Your body and mind need to forge an alliance and a connection so that spirit can come through and help direct you. And that implies trust. What do you trust in a 7 year? That's what you're going to discover. And coming out of a 7 year personally, I just came out of one. Now I'm in an 8 year. And the 7 year, it was almost immediate. Hustle, bustle, people, life. And I went in and I reflected on who I was, because I'm changing all the time. And I harbor no ill will toward anyone who has left my life or whose lives I've left in my 7 year. It's just, I don't match up with their vibes. I don't match up with the frequency. And I knew that a year ago in December when I was entering my 7 year. And I thought, oh, wow, I just want to be alone. And I recognized my patterns of who and what I was attracting in the world. And I thought, well, I'll just end it before it begins the next time I see it. And I put that into practice. And then I did a whole lot of reading and research about publishing my books, my historical fiction fantasy books, and researched a whole lot more about health and well-being, because that's a subject that really helps me to feel empowered. And then I can turn around and pass it along. So if in a 7 year, it's okay to just meditate and just keep your head down, do what you want, and be polite and be kind. And yeah, just know that you're gearing up, you're shoring up a new type of frequency, like a Schumann resonance, and you're bringing in this dedicated spirit that is always there. Okay, 7 years, you can go from feeling crazy, your heart is closed, you're just in your head trying to make it work. That is one of the original Polaroids of my aura when I was moving and feeling crazy. You can move from that to this in a 7-year. This is me after a day of readings at the Whole Life Expo in New York. And there's balance. There's the fire orange. That's my healing energy. I'm a magenta. There's all these downloads, and you can see faces, and spirits are all around me. So I went from one to the other. And I'm feeling very calm and motivated to move forward. And I don't see anything as a mistake. So note that in a 7-year. And then we move into an 8-year. If you are in an 8-year this year, you're going to know that that's not for me. That's not for me. They're not for me. And there's no judgment on it. It's just, you might be saying, I feel like I need to move out into the world. I'm ready to go public. I'm ready to, and you might even be leaning toward retirement because the 9-year is coming. So it's not like day one, January 1st, you're like raring to go. It's a process so that by, May, June, oh yeah, I just got contacted by this group, a knitting society. I'm just making it up. And I can sell my stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So that your higher inner being has been cleared of debris in the 7-year, the 8-year makes space for it to come to you. That is true manifesting. So in an 8-year, you look at people who say, but I can't afford that. And you say, I understand. And then you give them tips on raising their consciousness so that you don't lower yours. And there's a difference between humility, being humble, and denial at the sake of the self. Because when in a 7-year, you understand, I'm ready to move out into that world. I've ended these relationships. They don't work for me. I've moved into a place of more empowerment on the inside. The 8-year, people will come to you and you're going to say, I know exactly where you are. And if they have this much amount of poverty consciousness, you're going to say, I do run specials, or there is a sale. My stuff is on Etsy. I've heard it from all types of business people and what they do and how to handle the 8-year. And it's also about teaching others how to uplift themselves. So in an 8-year, you have to be very organized. Well, you don't have to be, but we break down to a 44. You're going to want to be organized at least by February so that if you have a business, if you work in a job, that's one thing. We'll talk about that. But if you have a business or you're selling products or services, have a marketing calendar at least every quarter, every 4 months, set it up, I've already set up my calendar through May 1st. When I can do readings, when I'm going to be writing, how I'm going to be researching for my novels, how to find that publisher or that editor. I have an editor, but I might need someone who has connections to the next level. And so that's what you might be looking for. And how do I bring that in? Well, you just came out of a meditative year. You're open. Your channels are open. So trust that as you focus on the thing that gives you joy in an 8-year, the doors will open. And if they don't, because there's some part of you that still has poverty consciousness, who doesn't? We all do on some level. Like, oh, it's not enough, or I flubbed up that, or I screwed that up, or whatever. It's fine. Forgive yourself and you're ready to move on and take care of your body, because you cannot have cortisol spikes in an 8-year, and because you'll forget that it's body mind connection first so that spirit can come through. That's an 8-year. And then by the end, you will have accomplished something you were hoping to do the last 8-year. Not 8 years ago, but the last time you were in an 8-year. Just count backwards from these dates. Make sense? I hope this is helping. Let me know. What year are you in? Do these calculations. And if you get stuck on how, I'm here to help. Okay. At the end of an 8-year, you're already, I remember an 8-year that I had. It was traveling for work. It was speaking to large audiences. It was doing readings. It was writing my other business. It was healing parts of my body so that I could have more time and energy to go do the things that I love. And by the time the 9 years started, I thought, okay, I had begun a radio show in an 8-year, and then I decided to do another one. One was on AM and one was internet radio. This is a while ago. And by the middle or August of my 9th year, in my numerological 9-year, I was in my pajamas, which I still wear, from the top up. Oh, I'm coiffed. I have makeup on. I have a nice sweater. But usually I wear pajamas. Well, I wasn't even bothering to shower by the August of my 9th year. And I was so ready to just I'm done. I am so done. A 9 year is about endings. Now, sometimes people if you are in a 3-year, a 6, a 7-year, and a 9-year, people in your life might leave en masse. And that can be you have changed your energy. So you have a whole new group of friends coming in, or someone leaves the earth and they're off planet. You can still have a relationship. But a 9-year is usually you not listening to yourself the previous 8 years, the previous 8 years from 1 through you get to 9, and you're exhausted and your adrenals are shot, or your mind is overwhelmed, or you're working overtime, or you don't have boundaries. So you have to look at yourself and say, the 9 is cumulative from all the years previous. So are you ready? Are you ready to say no and not feel guilty? Are you ready to set that boundary? Are you ready to? Because it will end. Something will end. And we hope it's your behavior that sets up this treadmill that doesn't work. And it stresses your body. We need this body to be on this earth. You're eternal. You can be anywhere at any time, even in your dreams. Your spirit can fly around. Your conscious awareness can fly around and experience anything. But you chose to be in a body. So by a 9-year, are you done? So I have suggestions. When you're tired, admit it. Go get some rest and some nutrients. Take care of yourself. And you could be tired of something or someone, and then you start complaining. Oh man, I can't believe what they did. And okay, you're tired. But really, what's going on? What kind of tired is it? I'm tired of feeling responsible. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of trying to, keep everybody happy. I'm trying to take it all on and it's not working. So boundaries, right? I think that's a theme from number 1 through 9, right? Okay. Captain Ramos says, have shared out publicly. Great. And knowing that it's your truth, no matter what you're sharing or what you're expressing, that boundary is helpful because it's part of the transmutation. Transformation is when you do something and you make a change. Transmutation is when you biologically become your next highest self. Everything transmutates that's organic. Everything. Plants, animals, people. So in a 9-year, if you're entering into a 9-year, clean out your closets, but not all at once. That's overwhelming because then you go through the boxes and you go, oh, this is 3rd grade. I made this. Oh my God. And then you think about all this stuff. And then the past 1 through 9, it all comes up again. So do things in moderation in a 9-year. No extreme vacations, no extreme anything. Watch your extremes, especially if you're someone who gets excited about, oh, squirrel and shiny penny. Oh, what's that? Oh, I want to do that. Oh, what's that? I should go there. Let's take a nice deep breath in a 9-year and temper your time. Pace it. Clean out the closets, the kitchen drawers, but not all at once, a little at a time. And when you do, you're moving energy and you're making space in your mind and in your body so that you can feel complete with something. Meditate daily, at least once in a 9-year. And if someone leaves your life suddenly, they might pass on, that you still have a connection to them. You can still speak with them. I know it's not the same, but allow yourself the grief. Allow yourself to go through the stages of letting go of something. This might be your retirement year. And you're thinking, oh, I did 20 years in this job. And for those of you who work, whether it's any year that you're in, for those who have a job, you must be true to yourself so that when you have an opportunity to be present and know, oh, this group of people isn't for me. I don't judge them. I'm not going to make myself bigger to make them smaller, to make it easier to let go and say goodbye. I'm just going to say, not for me. Because by the time you get to a 9-year, you just need to know, I want this. Maybe something wonderful happens in a 9-year. And you say, this is what I want. Then this or something better. And as all the things fall away that stop you from having this thing, it's going to feel emotional at times. It's going to feel like you're releasing a part of you that is, there's grief in a 9-year. There's exhaustion sometimes, but there's also brilliant. It's like, how can I describe this? Tanzanite. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, that was my engagement stone. It's a blue purpley stone. And Tanzanite comes out brown. It's a brown, murky, dark, dense stone. And then it's fired and it transforms into a purpley blue. So think of yourself as a stone that's going to go through something. May not be wholly pleasant, but you're ready for it. You're so ready for it. So by the end of that 9-year that I had, when I had 2 radio shows, I was raising a child, dog, family, parents, the whole thing. A parent passed away. I said no more to the radio shows. I had been there, done that. It was great. And I'm done. So think about that in a 9-year. Give yourself an opportunity to rest, to be present, to say no to things that just are not speaking to you, even if you've done them every year. You might think in a 9-year, every Thanksgiving we would go to Uncle Joe's house. Well, I don't want to go there this year. Then don't. But do it without the guilt. Do it because you're nourishing and nurturing yourself. Okay, so we have a 7-year. Well, a 7, let's see. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. You added 2002. We're just doing the month and the actual date of your birth, like February 10th. So skip the year. We're not adding the year. We're adding 2 and 1 is a 3. So February is a 2. You were born on the 10th. That's a 1. That's a 3 plus 2025. So you're in a 3-year, not a 7. Because then you would add it to 9. Make sense? You're in a 3-year, if that makes sense. You only add your month and the day you were born, not the year. So let's do that again. February is a 2. You add it to 1 in the 10. That's a 3. Anything you add to a 9 is going to equal the same number. So that's a 3. You're in a 3-year. So that's a lot different than a 7-year. It's more fun, I think. Although this year for me in my 7-year, that was very good. It was fun. I learned a lot, did a lot of research, and I paced myself because I know I've been around the block. I've had a few 7 years. Okay. Now, what I want to talk about is the planets and what they're doing. So I'm just going to get out of this. Actually, I'll leave this up for people who join late so that you can get the formula down. Okay. So what do we have? On January 28th, the North and South Node are always in retrograde, and they're not planets or positions. They're just calculations. And they will move out of Aries and Libra into Virgo and Pisces. So we'll talk more about that, but I just want you to take note of things that are changing. This is a momentous year for change and transformation for the Earth itself. Plates are shifting, icebergs are falling, new discoveries are being made about new species, things that are found on the ocean floor, that are found in the jungles and forests, bacteria, things that are melting from the ice caps now are revealing bacteria that's coming to life. So this is going to be a huge year. Just jot these things down. We're going to talk about them as the months progress. So first we have the nodes shifting, and the nodes represent this very simply. The South Node, been there, done that. The North Node, door to the future. Been there, done that in Virgo, door to the future in Pisces. We're going to talk about that. Just want you to write these things down. Then we have February 28th through March 27th. Venus is going to be retrograde, and that also includes the shadow phase. February 28th through March 27th, 2025, Venus is going to be retrograde in Aries. That's huge. Venus, finances, support, aesthetics, beauty, romance. Then we have a full lunar eclipse on March 13th, 23 degrees Pisces. That's coming up in March. And remember that nothing stops or starts on a dime in astrology or with the planets or the heavens. There's a gradual phase into it and a gradual phase out of it. And then we have on March 29th, a partial solar eclipse, 9 degrees Aries. If you know your chart and you know where these things are, you can get an inkling of what you might expect in the type of year that you're in. And then Venus retrogrades back into Pisces March 27th, where it stays until April 12th. So far we have a lot of Aries and Pisces stuff going on. Then on March 30th, 2025 through June of 2038, Neptune will enter Aries. We are looking at revolution. And that is a re-evolution of who we are in the inside, what we will no longer tolerate, what people are. There will be zealots. We'll talk about it. There will be people who just have an ideal vision and they're tunnel visioned and they want it done. And then there's going to be the people who have solutions about how to create something beautiful. So it's taking charge of the ideal vision. Just know which camp you're in. And then June 9th through June 29th, 2026, Jupiter will be entering the sign of Cancer. If you have Cancer sun, rising, or moon, you are going to feel, and because it's not the planets that are doing it to you, what's happening is you are feeling more ready to nurture a part of you that has a cardinal energy that is very ambitious. And you may not be sharing that information with people, Cancer, sun, rising, or moon, but it is a year that is filled with expansion on really producing something of value to you. And that's for everyone too, but especially Cancer, sun, rising, and moon. June 9th through June 29th, 2026. And then July 7th, we're not done. And then July 7th through May of 2033, Uranus, that's the correct pronunciation, is leaving Taurus as a Taurian. I say, you know what? At first, I was a little like, ooh, what's going to happen? And then I realized it was the most profound time frame of my life. 7 to 9 years, depending on the retrogrades. So July 7th, 2025 through May of 2033, Uranus enters the sign of Gemini. What does it mean for you? We're going to talk about that in the future. And I'll also put a link in to, I'm still going to expand. A lot of people wanted them, and I had limited calendar because I was in a 7-year. It's like, I'm only doing so many readings. My kid's coming for Christmas. I haven't seen them almost for a year. That I'll put a link in Facebook and in YouTube for your 2025 year in advance to look at all these things I just talked about, personalized to your chart. Okay, so it's a big year, and all you need to do is stay present, because it's always been a big year. Every year is a big year because we start every moment, every day, we start anew. So take this moment, be grateful, resonate the frequency of abundance, and move out into the world and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to be more of me. As always, I wish you peace, and I will see you next week.